Chintan, Rahul and I were friends before we started Green Chutney Films. I remember Rahul and Chintan, they were studying their chartered accountancy, and they used to run a film club also at night, where they used to just make, show people films. Chintan used to get films from around the world and just show it to people. And I think from all the members in the club, the only person that stayed back was Rahul. So that's how we really wanted to make films at some point of time. I also, after graduation, came to Bombay to work in films, not figuring exactly how to go about things. So all we had, I think, in common was the idea of making films, writing our films, producing our own films. That was always there. Late 2017, when kind of like internet boomed, we felt that this is the right time to get into making our own films, having our own company to produce our films, because we were also getting slightly tired going to producers in various ways and pitching our content. So that's how Green Chutney came into being, and the reason that, and a lot of people ask us what is the idea behind Green Chutney. It's nothing very big as such. It's something that we used to be bonded over. Like, we used to hang out in bars discussing films in our struggling days, and we bonded over a Green Chutney, and that's how Green Chutney Films came into being. The idea of one day we'll start a company, and that's how that became the center point for us. I remember when we started Green Chutney Films, we went to a lot of companies saying, hey, we have film experiences individually, but can we make brand films for you? And we are really good at writing stories and telling stories. Collective as a company and three of us as a team didn't have a film to show it to people and say, hey, we have made this, can you give us more work? So that kind of really failed. So we kind of pivoted to the idea of, hey, let's just make some sketches on YouTube, because the internet is also getting now picked up. It's free now, so a lot of people have access to internet. So we went back and started making sketches, like YouTube sketches. And I remember one of the sketch went slightly more viral. It went viral, and one of the brand who had rejected us called us back, saying, hey, I saw your video, you're quite good, can you make brand films for us? And that's how our first ad film started. When we started, we don't come from advertising, so for everything for us was just stories. Like, if someone asks us what's your creative process, we'll be like, we write stories. Sooner we realized, while we are good at stories, we collaborate with more storytellers, writers and everything. We also need someone who has an advertising background, who can think of copies and structure it and how to sell the idea and all these things. So slowly, when our advertising work started picking up, we decided to have a team of writers. So today at Green Chutney Films, we have a writing team. We have we also have a service of ideation. It's a writer's room, mix of script writers, creative writers and copywriters who have worked in big agencies. So now it's quite a structured process of how we arrive to our campaigns, instead of just being very ad hoc and just writing stories. So now we have a very streamlined process of doing our market research, understanding what the brand wants, understanding what the product is for, doing detailed research of category, competition, making a full strategy, and then start using now these insights and information to articulate things creatively. We have a great writers room right now, which kind of constantly keeps churning out great ideas and copies, from once we have that idea locked principally, it's the second stage of scripting is what we get into. When we started Green Chutney, the internet was just picking up. Like, it became free. It had more access. People got access to internet quite easily then. And a good thing about that was it became a very decentralized. Like, people doesn't have to work in big agencies or big films. They can just make a good video and showcase their work to their whoever they want to work with. So we kind of took that advantage. We made a lot of sketches, showcased it to brands, and that's how we started getting work. But the also flip side to it that I think a lot of mainline budgets started getting cut down, and it started coming down to digital, because every brand was becoming digital first now. So the flip side of it is, like, now you have a lot of competition in the market. People are doing films. The same film can be done in various budgets, but where we have thrived and sustained is on the power of the kind of stories we offer the brands, our writers room, and secondly the quality of the films. I think one of the most non-negotiable thing for us is, we have done, when we started our company, we have done like films which are just like corporates and everything, but our focus now has been a good quality film, good stories, and films that make an impact in their category. It's not just for the sake of filmmaking now, it is also to now collaborate and help brands in their endeavor to stand out, promise, and deliver. In terms of partnership, we have quite a structured a structured writers room at Green Chutney Films. We have planners, we have strategists, we have copywriters, and then we have script writers, and then there is an execution team. So we try to understand the problem, the product, as much as the brand does, and then dive into a lot of details before we come up with an idea. A lot of great research goes into before we offer something to the brand. One of the advantage that we have an execution team which takes care of the production. So I've seen a lot of times brands get stuck between an agency who has written a great idea but very expensive execution team, and they're stuck between. But at Green Chutney Films, we make sure that whatever budgets or whatever constraints that we have, we write and deliver the best in that zone. It's very rarely happened with us where we have promised something and the execution can't deliver. So it's quite cohesive in that manner, and that's how I think our collaboration becomes more fruitful with the brands also. Since the inception, I think one of the most strongest point of Green Chutney Film is to bring stories at the front. Like, the whole idea of started making ads, started to make ad films, was to make people like ads again. Like the older times when we remember all the golden ads was 80s and 90s. We wanted to get the stories again, the warmth again, the laughters again, back into advertising. But we all came from a fiction background. Like, I worked on fiction films, Chintan used to work in fiction films. So the whole idea of documentaries and fiction has always been with us, and that's what our training has been on. So now that we are expanding our business, we have Chintan who's leading our fiction wing now. We have just launched Apure Films, where we will be producing a lot of fiction and documentary films. But the plan has always been there since the start of our company. And again, it's quite exciting because we get to collaborate with a lot of filmmakers and talent and young talent, writers, explore new stories. But we are headed in, I think we have already written 2 feature films. Aarti, who is our one of the lead directors, she has a feature film. So we are almost ready with our 2 feature films, and hopefully it goes on floor very soon. Message to aspiring filmmakers, I think, would be to do a lot of hard work, to be very diligent, and I think we at Green Chutney Films constantly strive on promoting leadership and young talent. Like, if you see our films, Aarti, who had joined us as an intern, is now the head director at our company. Suhasini, who's fairly new to filmmaker, is now debuting in ad films. We really believe in the talent that we have at Green Chutney Films. And one of the things that we did not have when we were assistant was someone supporting us and asking us to take risks. Here we really encourage people to take risks and discover themselves, make films, fail faster, move on. These are the cultures that we're trying to establish at Green Chutney Films, and we're really proud of it. and hope that a lot of filmmakers come to Green Chutney Films and just be a part of amazing stories and tell amazing stories.